you know, I grown up in a different world than probably anybody else here, and knowing that my parents were scumbags, knowing that my grandparents were scumbags, knowing that my great-grandparents were scumbags, knowing that one of them was actually a great guy, he was a general, but understanding that our great-grandparents sold us out, or our great-great-grandparents sold us out, our great-grandparents sold us out, our grandparents sold us out, and our parents sold us out into slavery, I don't have a problem with that, because I don't like the bastards anyways. You guys are probably just silly enough to have respect for your parents. I apologize for your ignorance. Nothing I can do about that. But they are the ones that sold you.
Yeah, but you're also going with the assumption that they did it willingly and knowingly.
No, I'm doing it with the assumption that they were lazy bastards that cared only about themselves. And I like your parents. Your parents are great. But we're the first generation in the history of this country since 1780 that worried about what was going to happen to our children. Our parents didn't worry about what was going to happen with our children. The IRS came in and said, hey, sell your kid to us, we'll give them a number and you get a tax write-off. And our parents said, great deal, I'll sell my children in a second. Okay? This is America. That's what we do. Our children are innocent, so we either kill them or sell them. It's America. We're Americans. So we're the first generation doing anything about it. I don't buy it. I don't buy that they didn't know. I hear people all the time, oh, I didn't know about that. No, you lazy bastard. You didn't get off your friggin' ass, put the fork down, turn off the TV, and learn about it. Okay? I mean, how many people in here have read the classics? How many people in here have read Shakespeare? How many people in here have read everything Shakespeare ever wrote? How many people here have read everything that Victor Hugo wrote? How many people have read everything that Hemingway's wrote? What about Melville? Okay, so, but how many people here average watching 4 hours of TV a day?
I don't have TV. I haven't had TV hooked up to my house for well over 2 years.
That's 4 hours.
I'm sorry. Who the hell's fault is it? What, do you think you can't go pick up Hemingway? You can't go to the library? You can't go online and read? What about Hugo? What about Frankl? How many people in here have read Viktor Frankl?
I love his stuff. I
mean,
even had a class on his stuff.
The guy's incredible.
Yeah.
So don't tell me what are you guys doing with your life? You're coming in here learning, trying to save your ass. Did your parents do it?
Nope.
What'd your parents do? They got an education to make more money so they could party more. What'd they friggin' do for the country?
Not a damn
My dad
Not
went
a
to
damn-
Vietnam.
Sacrificed their sons.
Yes. And that's it. And a lot of guys did. Okay? And those of us that are vets, we can sit around and say, well, we already served. No, you took an oath for life. For life. To stop all enemies, foreign and domestic. Not for those couple years where people were shooting at you and you got a party.
I believe that was Washington said, have I not done enough? Well, no, you haven't.
Nope.
You haven't
You're
done
still
enough.
alive.
Yeah, you haven't done enough.
You still didn't, you know? And look at what we're taught. Look at, you know, all right, I'll rant for a few more minutes and then we'll take on. Look at what we're taught. How many people think that they know anything about what formed this country? What was the final battle of the original Revolutionary War?
Gettysburg.
Did you really say Gettysburg?
At least she's not being silent.
Right. She was
Yeah,
vocal.
you wanted
She was vocal.
answers.
Right or wrong.
Has anybody heard the Battle of Yorktown?
Yeah.
Who won the Battle of Yorktown? Okay, how many shots were fired? There was 10,000 troops. How many shots were fired at the Battle of Yorktown?
Three.
Who was the English general? Cornwallis. Very friggin' good. Who was the American general?
Gates.
There wasn't fucking one.
No, there wasn't no America yet.
Okay, please, I got this.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't.
It was Lafayette. It was Marquis de Lafayette. Guess where the fuck he was from?
France.
Okay? And guess who won the battle?
He did.
France.
France.
No, he didn't. No, he fucking didn't. You know who won the final battle that made America free? Now, we know it was led by a French general that they won't teach you in school. Do you know who won the war?
Mel Gibson.
The farmers. The farmers won the war.
The Patriots.
James Armistead.
Armistead, okay.
James Armistead Lafayette. He didn't get the name Lafayette till after the war. You know why? Does anybody know fucking why?
No one's
The
gonna
guy that
follow
won the
that.
battle, that freed this country, you know why he didn't get the last name Lafayette until after the fucking war was over? Because now I'm going to piss off most of you.
Because he was foreign.
And a couple of you guys don't even know, and you're going to like this.
He switched sides.
No, he's a fucking slave. He was black.
What?
A black man won the war that freed the United States. Look it up. Did you learn that in public school?
Kidding. No.
Wow.
That's my daughter's family's name.
I'm kidding. Who said that?
This young lady sitting there.
Yeah, see, you don't know.
Rat her out, AJ. Come on.
I just had to. I all of a sudden felt grody.
How many people in here were taught in public school that a black man caused the United States to win the war for its freedom? Did you, Fred?
How did he do that?
AJ?
Of course not.
Kind of changes things, don't it?
Yes, it does.
And what did Lafayette say?
Look.
Not James Armistead Lafayette. Marquis de Lafayette say that because of winning this war, what we should do? End slavery in the United States and show the rest of the world. They didn't. They didn't even free Lafayette. They didn't even free James Armistead. Lafayette had to come back to the United States after the war was done and fight for Armistead's freedom. And that's why Armistead took his last name. You gonna read that in the friggin' history books? You guys wake up, man.
Where do you get this information?
I read constantly.
I was gonna say he reads books.
Constantly. I read it all. I don't go to their shit. I go and I look up archives and I read it. And I read the documents. How do you think I found out about seals? Go look at the president's wills. Why are they all sealed? Why are all the friggin' land patents and deeds of trust and deeds and warranty deeds before the Civil War all stamped with somebody's seal? They've all got wax on them. Why? I don't read what these people say. They lie to me. They're Americans. You ever not been lied to by an American? Well, let's go. Cindy's got some things to go over. Then we're going to come back and we're all set up for a witness stuff, and we'll go for it. What is it going on?
Just a couple things from the affidavit that's new, and just one thing about this.
Oh, okay.
Nothing major.
Yeah, 'cause when you learn about
Just have a couple things. Bill McCaffrey, most of you know, is our expert witness that will do the Securities and Exchange Commission report, finding where your note is. He actually did mine. Took 2 months. He's very behind. He does about 2 a week, so
how
he's
much
very
does
slow.
it cost?
You have to check with him. He has a special for our group, but you got to get a hold of him, mention our
What's
names,
his
and
number?
it's slow. I don't know his
Email.
number, his email address. I can get you. I'll get that for you in a little bit. Okay. In my situation, he found my note was in Alternative Loan Trust J13. Problem is, Alternative Loan Trust J13 dissolved before I even signed my paperwork for my purported mortgage, which means that my note was put into an already dissolved trust, which means there's not an entity today that has any lawful right to come after me, which means that by Bank of America coming after me, claiming that they have some type of rights, they have filed false forged documents in the recorded office in my case because they never had the right. Trust was dissolved. They were the holders of my note. Bank of America used Recon Trust. They filed a bunch of nonsense to claim that Bank of America has this valid chain to my deed of trust. But I know they don't because my note was put into this dissolved trust. That's huge evidence. And when I presented that in my federal case, which started out in Superior Court, got moved to federal, I only sued the CEOs at the time. My case just got dismissed with prejudice. It's done. Can't do anything more in federal court with the CEOs. So tomorrow, I am filing a whole new case, and it will be in Superior Court, and it will be just against the banks. And I'm just going after them. I'm laying out, hammering them over the fact that, sorry about your bad luck, you sold my note into an already dissolved trust. Therefore, there's nobody that has the lawful right to steal my house. And I'm going to put this new complaint TRO that's done specifically for my case, and I'll be posting it with Ryan on the internet. so you can see. So if you're lucky enough to get a McCaffrey report and you have this evidence, that's huge evidence. Now, just to let you know, Bill McCaffrey's own note was also put into an already dissolved trust. So that's two that I know of that got a report. You know, him obviously did his own report. The way you find out is he does the report, he finds the trust. There is a document in his report called a 15D filing. That is the document that says from the SEC when that trust was dissolved. That's your evidence. Trust was dissolved before I even existed with this paperwork. Therefore, there's I don't know why they sold it to an already dissolved trust, but they did. Isn't that crazy? So anyway, so I know Bill McCaffrey is taking forever, and I'm so sorry for that. And I go to his house now and then, and he is buried in all this stuff, and he's got lawyers using him all over the place, and he's taking about 2 months, maybe longer.
Cindy, that means that they sold it before you even signed it. They were getting funded
No.
off of it before you even
No,
the ink dried.
that means that the trust was formed before I had a purported loan done. We'll just call it a loan for now so we all know what I'm talking about. When I signed my paperwork at the title company, this trust was already in existence. However, it had already dissolved. So why Countrywide at the time, who had my supposed note, sold it to this trust? I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe they just had some extra money laying around and they wanted to. Maybe Countrywide just wanted to put it somewhere, have investors buy into it. I have no idea. But the trust was dissolved before my loan was created. So if you're lucky enough to get that kind of evidence, I mean, my God, that's your smoking gun. I don't know what more you need. But in my case, with that evidence, they threw my case out. So I
Well,
have
but
to
that
go
was
after.
Judge Silver.
Yeah, I know. I have to go after the banks themselves because they won't allow me to go after the CEOs who cause all this nonsense.
No, in my
So-
case, I went after the banks and the CEOs,
I know you did.
and I haven't had any trouble.
And those that did, I think that was very wise in the end. We don't know the outcome of yours. You may
Right.
get a ruling that your parties have to be dismissed off except for the banks. You know,
Right.
it took me 6 months to get my case thrown out. So I've been suing them for all this time, and it just got dismissed last week. So,
Dismissed in your favor or dismissed by the
no,
bank?
dismissed by the judge because she claimed that I could not sue the CEOs.
You don't
of
standing
the-
to sue.
I had to sue the banks, the entities. I could not sue
Did you
her opinion, the
evidence
CEOs.
Enron and all these
I
companies?
know. I went through all that. Every argument. You know, Martha Stewart, the guy from Enron, and Charles Keating. All these people were mentioned somewhere in my documents that I have this lawful right. And my last, what she did was she gave me one more time to amend my complaint to properly make it against the banks. If I wasn't going to follow her order exactly, she was going to dismiss my case. So I didn't want to take that one last opportunity that I had to file an amended complaint and go after the banks and have her find that I didn't dot an I or cross a T properly and throw the whole thing out, and my only opportunity to sue the banks would have been gone forever. So therefore, I chose to just ignore her order, laid it all on the CEOs again for the 4th time, and she dismissed my case with prejudice. But I'm filing it again tomorrow in Superior Court. We've found things in the law that we're going to put in my case that if a bank does business here in Arizona, pursuant to some rule he found, they are now a citizen of Arizona.
You just
Behind
wanted
you on
up
the
there.
board.
Oh, cool. Therefore, we're going to be able to lay on them that they can't move my case to federal court because if you're a citizen in Arizona, then you can't go to federal court. So we're going to make the banks, we're going to inform them that they're the citizens because they actually do business in Arizona, and all you need is one citizen of Arizona can't go to federal court, pursuant to what John says. He'll go
And
over
that-
that more. But anyway, so I'm going to try to keep in state court because I think it's fair, more fair, we'll see. I'm also going to be filing my case in the Mesa court. I don't know who I'll end up with a judge, if I'll stay in Mesa court or not, but apparently, there's a few good judges over there. Maybe I'll get one, who knows? They'll probably recuse themselves.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the latest on my personal case. The affidavits that I prepare have come a long way. These are getting so good, and for those of you that I did them in the past, you may want to take a look at what I'm doing now, and we could do a revision for real reasonable, so we can talk about that if you need one. But I want to bring up,
Hey, Cindy.